So today, we're diving into the life of one of history's most powerful figures. We're talking about a woman who is the absolute bedrock of a global faith, but, her story often gets kind of pushed to the side. We're talking about Khadijah al-Kubra. And to really get just how important she was, let's start with this incredible statement from her husband, the Prophet Muhammad himself. And look, this wasn't just him being sweet. It was a testament to a partnership that would literally change the world. So who was this remarkable woman?
See, long before she ever met the Prophet, Khadijah was already a titan of industry in Makkah society. She wasn't defined by anyone else. She was a respected, powerful figure all on her own.
In fact, she was so well respected that everyone knew her by a specific title, al-Tahirah, or the Pure One. And this wasn't something she got later in life. No, this was her brand from day one. It was a reflection of her integrity in a really tough, competitive city. And the scale of her operation, it was huge. I mean, we're talking about a top-tier CEO, but in 6th century Arabia. After inheriting her father's business, she didn't just coast. She grew it into this massive enterprise, with trade routes stretching all the way to Syria and Yemen. She was famous for her business smarts, her wisdom, and her complete and total honesty.
All right, so you've got this established business powerhouse, the Pure One. How on earth does she cross paths with the young man who's about to change history? Well, it all kicked off with a job opening.
And this really was a meeting of equals, each famous for their character. You had her, the Pure One, and him, known everywhere as Ameen, or the Trustworthy One. She needed a manager she could absolutely rely on for a huge trade mission, and his spotless reputation made him the perfect guy for the job.
So their whole story starts out as a business deal, right? Her agent, Seerah, comes back from the trip and the report is just glowing. I mean, yeah, the profits had doubled, which was amazing, but Seerah couldn't stop talking about Muhammad's character. And then, in a move that was just unheard of for the time, Khadijah flips the script entirely. She's the one who proposes marriage. And get this. Let's put this into perspective. She was 40 years old at the time, an established, independently wealthy woman. And he was just 25. So yeah, this was not your typical marriage. It was a partnership. Pure and simple, built on mutual respect for who they were as people, and it completely shattered the norms of their society.
So for 15 years, life is good. They have this partnership built on love and success. But then, everything changes. An event happens that yanks them out of the world of business and throws them into the deep end of divine revelation.
The Prophet had this habit of going off to a cave outside Mecca to think, to meditate. And it's here, in total isolation, that his entire world is just completely turned upside down. He has this terrifying, overwhelming encounter with the angel Gabriel.
And that was it. The very first command. The first words of what would become the Quran. Can you even imagine the shock, the pure awe of that moment? He's being told to recite a message from God. So he doesn't come down from the mountain like some triumphant prophet. No way. He runs home, he's shaking, he's absolutely terrified, and he's just begging his wife, "Cover me, cover me." He thought he was losing his mind.
And this, right here, is the moment that defines Khadijah. He's in the middle of a crisis. And what does she do? She doesn't doubt him for a second. She becomes his anchor. She immediately calms him down by just reminding him of who he is. Her words basically said, God would never do something bad to a good person like you.
And with that absolute, unwavering belief in him, she became the very first Muslim, the first person to accept the message. Think about that. Her belief was the foundation stone for his entire mission.
But her support wasn't just, a comforting word. As this new faith started to grow and, of course, face some serious opposition, her role became even more vital. All those skills she had as a business magnate, her wealth, her strategy, they all got repurposed. She basically became the financial backbone of Islam.
And that opposition got nasty. The ruling powers in Makkah imposed a total boycott. The small Muslim community was cut off, couldn't buy food or do business, and they were forced into a barren valley to starve. And we're not talking about a few weeks here. This went on for nearly 3 years.
So what does Khadijah do? She goes into action mode. She liquidates her entire business empire and uses every last bit of that legendary business sense to get food and supplies to the community. Her vast fortune built over decades was what kept everyone alive. She literally bankrolled the survival of the faith. She gave it all. The Prophet's own words really say it all, don't they? When the whole world turned against him, she was there.
Her belief was his emotional shield, and her wealth was the community's physical lifeline. Her support was absolute. Eventually, the boycott is lifted, but the damage was done. Those years of deprivation took a heavy, heavy toll, especially on the older members of the community, and that led to just a period of terrible loss.
After giving everything she had, her wealth, her energy, and enduring those incredible hardships during the boycott, Khadijah's health just gave out. She passed away soon after they returned to Makkah. She was about 65 years old.
His grief was so deep, so profound, that this whole year in Islamic history gets its own name, Am-ul-Huzn, the year of sorrow. I mean, he didn't just lose his wife of 25 years. He lost his first believer, his #1 supporter, his greatest comfort.
And he never, ever forgot her. For the rest of his life, he made sure her memory was alive and well. He'd send gifts to her old friends, just to honor her. He'd talk about her constantly, and show special respect to her family. It was a love that truly did last a lifetime and beyond.
So when we look back at her story, from a powerhouse CEO to the first pillar of a new faith, it really makes you think, doesn't it? What can this partnership from 1,400 years ago teach us today about what it really means to have faith, to give support, and to truly love?